Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We are looking at The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. And this week we are actually looking at The City of Stardust. I know that you guys were kind enough when I accidentally uploaded the Lock and Key video to the picture of The City of Stardust. I had to just change the picture because I didn't have the video for this book review. I'd accidentally deleted it. So this week we are actually reviewing this book. So essentially you've got Violet Everly is the main character in this, and 10 years before this book it starts with Marianne, Violet's mother, deciding that she needs to go off and break the Everly curse. So what she does is she buggers off and leaves her daughter to go and break this curse, and then they never hear from her again. So then Violet realizes that this curse is still happening. Slowly and surely, her uncles fill her in on what's happening and what that means. And it's with Penelope, who's... You've got inklings at the start of the book, but it does get confirmed that she is a god. She is essentially... It's called the City of Stardust because she is a star that is on Earth. Not like Stardust, the film that you're thinking of, which is phenomenal. But yeah, she is a star on Earth. She's got that big cosmic power. And she basically just wants to go home. But because of a long, complicated history with the Everlys, she's not able to. So what we do is we follow Violet on her little quest as she realises that she ain't going to get herself out of this. Like, her mum's not going to get her out of this. She's going to get herself out of this. And I will say one thing. I was so mad at Marianne as I was reading the book, because I was like, especially when you find out what Marianne does, it really rankled me so much, especially when you know you've got a daughter at home. I'm not going to say what Marianne does, but when you read the book and you find out what it is that Marianne actually does, please let me know in the comments if you're as peed off with her as I was, because that really annoyed me. But Violet is such a resourceful and well-written character, because I have had many books that I have read and I haven't reviewed because I couldn't review every single book I've ever read. I just don't have the time. But I've read many books that I've read where they've had a strong female character who is like, can be amazing in everything, no flaws, whatever, or their flaw is, you know, they're too hard and so on and so forth, and it pisses me off. But I've also read so many great books where they've had great, strong female characters. I mean, like the Hunger Games trilogy comes to mind when I think of Katniss Everdeen. And Violet in this world realizes that the reason she starts this quest, as it were, is partially because she wants to find her mother and partially because she wants to break the curse. Because she doesn't know what the curse is. She just knows that there is a curse. But she wants to try and find her mother in the meantime. And that kind of pushing, like that drive in her, and you know how she then realizes there's this whole secret society thing, and she goes and weaves her way in and out, and she makes friends and acquaintances, and honestly, it feels really good to me how she like builds up a couple of friendships here or there, and how she grows as a person from like being a sheltered person who's never gone to school, to then being someone that's in charge of her own destiny, but like still shows the emotions of a human person. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all the characters. I loved, you know, whenever Penelope and Violet would sort of like clash together. I loved that there was bits of like, when you see it from Penelope's point of view, it wasn't painting her to be some like misunderstood like villain. You know, she was a villain. She was a proper cold-blooded villain. And I loved that because, again, don't get me wrong, I love my morally grey men. I do. I love reading and being like, oh, do you know what I mean? Shiver down my spine. You girls know what I'm on about. You guys too. I'm not judging. But I love a villain who's a villain, because I feel like nowadays people very rarely give the whole sort of like, do you know what I mean? Like, people very rarely go full villain, and there's always some redeeming feature. And to be perfectly honest, from my point of view, there wasn't a redeeming feature with Penelope, and I adored that, and I loved that sort of like energy that she brought to the book. And so this is why I thoroughly enjoyed reading that. And how it ended as well. It was fantastic. It concluded. You got the conclusion that you wanted, and I felt really pleased with how the book had finished. Now, obviously, you guys might disagree. You know, you might think that it lost its way. You might think that actually the characters aren't that well written, or the villain did have a redeeming feature and I was just ignoring it. But honestly, that's how I feel. But please give it a read. Let me know if you enjoy it. I love the fact that you guys do comment on my videos. I try and reply to every comment. But you know, I love hearing when you've read a book. You know, even just recently I had someone comment on my Rewitched video where they said that they put the book down because they couldn't get past the lethargy of the character. And I was like, do you know what? That's fair. And this is what I mean. This channel is not just me telling you, you have to read these books because they're amazing. This is my channel going, these are the books that I enjoy. These are the books that I read. You know, if you like them, great. If you don't, that's fine. You know, give me suggestions. Let's open that up. Because for me, even if you just read a pamphlet, I feel like it's a way into your imagination. So thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for actually keeping this going. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But remember to always keep it contento.